She's around 21 years old. She loves dressing up, going out, being with her friends. She enjoys nights out, weekends away, and dinners with people she loves. But she's constantly insecure about how she looks.
Hey guys, so I'm gonna show you an everyday look today. It's something that I do literally every morning. Okay, bye.
She's always trying to find the right makeup to cover up what she doesn't like about her face. She's always trying to find clothes that cover up the parts of her body she doesn't like. She's constantly focused on what she looks like, forgetting to think about what she feels like.
So I just finished my 30-minute session. I feel so relaxed.
We're so aware of how we want our face and body to look, but we should become more aware of how we want our mind and heart to feel. And changing from the inside usually results in a change on the outside too. We've all been around those people. When someone is genuinely happy, internally, it reflects externally, so much so that it's even contagious to everyone around them. Taking care of our health, dressing well, and taking care of our physical appearance are all important, and there's nothing wrong with that, but not at the expense of developing values, qualities, and skills. When we compare ourselves to the pictures we see on social media, it's a bad idea. The pictures are highly filtered, edited, cropped, stylized. They're not even real. When you compare yourself against something or someone that isn't real, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. When we judge what we have, we forget who we are. Confidence comes from who we are, what we stand for, and why we do what we do. Again, I'm not saying don't work out or eat healthy and take care of your body. What I'm saying is, don't expect that alone to make you feel better about yourself. Your diet isn't just what you put into your body, it's also what you put into your mind. If you keep saying things like, my body is not good enough, then that's what you're going to be feeding your mind. The deep work starts within. When we recognize we have unlimited potential, when we recognize we have a purpose, when we recognize that we are enough, when we realize we are enough, everything changes. We stop relying on external things to build our internal self-esteem. Because remember, no amount of makeup, clothes, or shoes is going to change how you feel about yourself. This was such a tough message, but I had to share it. Please stay tuned in as I'm now going to show you an interview that really connects with this message that you just saw. What is that difference in your mind on imitation versus emulation? Like that mimicking versus actually finding yourself through that process? Because I couldn't agree with you more. I genuinely feel that we live in a society whereby the pinnacle of success becomes our validation or metric of how we measure ourselves. So right now, for example, Kylie Jenner's just become the youngest billionaire in the world at 21. Every 21-year-old's going, oh God, I'm not a billionaire. And it becomes the new pressure. So it becomes the imitation, or you see someone who's popular on social media by doing a particular activity, you think, oh, I need to imitate that to get that result. What is that difference between it being a search for self versus a sabotage of self?
Maharishi Mahesh said, discernment is the most important thing, discernment. And then I spoke to Jordan Peterson and he said judgment. So it's interesting, isn't it, that someone like the Maharishi would not say kindness, love, compassion, but would say discernment, knowing what path to follow. In terms of mentorship and emulation, I would say inner connection. It's very difficult not to want to mimic stars or billionaires, but I would say we must become attuned to what is timeless. And economic success is emulating social power. It's the idea of, what can we infer from the wealth of Kylie Jenner, is it?
Kylie, yeah.
Kylie Jenner. Is that, she's powerful, she can do what she wants, she's made something of her life, she's glamorous, she's potent, she's powerful. So the timeless in that is, I suppose, power. The temporal in that is economic success. It's gonna die, it's gonna go. Kylie Jenner, like all of us, will die. The money will die. The globe itself, the entire planet, will die. So if you've spent your time festooning and ornamenting your temporary vehicle instead of the timeless, which is in continual dialogue with the temporal and external, then you have missed the point. So if I sort of say, I like Bill Hicks because Bill Hicks speaks the truth, right? And I will speak my truth rather than I'm going to wear these clothes and put on this accent, then don't learn the wrong lesson. And like a lot of times in my own life, I learn the wrong lesson. I learn, like Hollywood stars, they seem to be above problems and above the filth that I feel contaminated by. I'll become a Hollywood star. Oh no, the filth has come with me, because I learned the wrong lesson. The real lesson, the real work is done inwardly. I suppose how to make this evaluation, Jay, would be to, this is why good mentors, because you can't always trust yourself. I can't always trust myself. I still am capable of making dumb decisions. I still might go, like you say with your seed and weed technique, which I adore, like that I might sort of try and convince myself, that's a seed.
Yeah,
and I might need someone else to go, that's a weed.
Yeah.
You idiot. How can you try and sell that as a seed? Oh no, it could be a seed. Because really what you want to do, the power, prestige, privilege, these things, I like them. Part of me wants it. I want the glory, the adornment, to be garlanded in wonder, to be kissed and loved and licked. But I've been there now, and it's very temporary.
And yeah, it's that confirmation bias, right? We're always trying to find the information that justifies our belief. Yes. So if we want to switch and make ourselves feel, oh no, I am happy doing this because he or she's happy doing it, we find a way.
Yes.
We find a way. But what's fascinating about what you've done, and this has genuinely been, I think I've wanted to ask you this since we've been friends and known each other. And I'm glad I get to ask it to you today because I think it's probably one of the hardest things to do, genuinely. I feel like you're someone who has multiple times reinvented themselves, and not reinvented for the sake of branding or marketing, but in bringing out your truth in different ways.
Oh, thanks. That's a good compliment.
Right, I'm genuinely saying it. Like, I don't think it's been a marketing or a branding attempt. I believe it's been an attempt to be authentic and genuine at every moment in the way that I've seen it. But yes. you started off, and we were talking about it earlier. You started it off. You were the host at Big Brother, the digital edition, etc. And then everyone knew you as this, eccentric, crazy, wacky individual. Charismatic, captivating, and I've heard people who worked with you behind the scenes say he was extremely charming behind the scenes too. And so and there are parts of that which you've kept, and there's parts of that which you let go. And then we saw Russell Brand, of course, the actor, and then you moved into acting in Hollywood. And I know everyone that I speak to in America about you absolutely adores you and loves you for the movies that you made. And then we have you coming back and playing a more activist role. And then even in politics, and now spirituality and philosophy and culture and society. And I feel like that must have been so difficult because I don't think, and you may see it differently, but from my point of view, I never really saw you completely step away to come back. I see a lot of people, especially celebrities or people who are trying to find their truth and find their why. They kind of go away into hiding and then sometimes emerge in an interview and don't always make complete sense. Because they're still trying to make sense of what they're finding. But you almost have kept your personality and who you are, but then engaged and explored all these fascinating things.
This has been fortunate, Jay, when you put it like that. In a sense, we all have our game, don't we, and our strategies. Some of us are attracted to the more high stakes game where you could be humiliated, exposed, or attacked, or killed. And I think what happened is that even though I, in various periods of my life, have taken on the tools and ephemera of the culture, i.e. I want to be on the TV and dress up and be all famous, or I want to go Hollywood or whatever. Something in me always knew that these things would pass and are not real, and I've kept a healthy dialogue with that, perhaps because I'm an addict, and an addict has to be aware of pain continually, and otherwise the pain will end in self-destruction. So it wasn't a conscious, right, I better reinvent myself. It was in each case a sort of crisis that felt beyond my control. Like just, oh, well, this isn't working anymore. I can't do that no more. That doesn't seem real anymore. Not even really cognitive. I moved back from America when I fell in love with somebody in England. I got, like, the thing with politics, for example, was I remember, I feel like I asked myself the question, and my mate Gareth that I was working with a lot of the time then, what will happen if I just start saying what I actually think about politics and then put it on the internet? What will happen? And then I watched what happened, and it felt like, I'd always felt that. Like, for take the very obvious example of I said there's no point voting because the opportunities for change are minimal and ultimately meaningless. I had always felt that. That's why I had never voted. And pretty much everyone I knew felt like that. I didn't belong to groups of people that were like, well, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Conservative. Everyone was just like, well, that's just that thing where everyone pretends that ordinary people can have power while these institutions protect their own interests. Everyone sort of knew that, whether intellectually or just more viscerally. So I started talking about it in the same way through performance, through comedy, because the point of comedy in a sense is revelation. Revelation of what is previously being concealed. That's what is exciting about comedy, is that it puts you in touch with an ulterior reality. Like that, we suspect, we pray and meditate on, that whilst we accept the conditions of this conversation, that you're embodying that conscious entity and I'm embodying this conscious entity, we both know that they're going to die. We wonder, what is the energy that's behind it? Where will that energy go? Of what is that energy comprised? How did we end up speaking this language? All of these questions fizz invisibly through the air. All of these connections are continually being made. And I feel that you can apply this metric, this tool, this analytical device to anything. You can start to say, well, what is politics? Who does it serve? How is it constructed? Why is this system still in place? Why has it not progressed when clearly the technology to change it has or evolved? Whose interests are being protected? Why are these conversations not had? Why is this information not conveyed? Why is that, and if you start asking those questions, things start just peeling away and peeling away. You can ask it of yourself, you can ask it of someone you love, which is a cruel thing to do anyway, or you can ask it of the institutions that are around you. So in a sense, the thing that's, you shed your skin like a serpent, and you sort of go on. But like behind it, the energy is the same. My belief is, while there might be an essential distinction between you and I, that you are some very particular expression of the whole and the divine, as everyone is, that we are all somehow in continual communion with something that's bigger than us, bigger than this. How could it not be? How could our little minds understand all reality? How could this be all that there is?
And how did you get into that? Like, how did that journey start? So we're talking about all these reinventions, but that particular...
What, spiritual curiosity?
Yeah. Where did that come from? Like, why did they...
Drugs.
Right.
Because I think if you start taking drugs, you start thinking, I'm trying to kill this thing. Like, it's not working for me. And if you take things like hallucinogens, the hallucinogens will... make you physically experience, oh no, I'm not me. I remember that feeling being quite young, sort of 16, taking acid, and the horror, because I was not, I was just doing it with other lads. I wasn't around bloody gurus. So of just thinking, oh no, I'm not me. I'm not me. This is not good. Who am I then? And there's no one there to go, that's really beautiful, isn't it? That you're not you, because it means that you are everyone and you are everything, and all those things you've told yourself, and your language and your culture and your gender and your identity are all just biological or social programs that you are exhibiting. I just thought, bloody hell, whose hands are these? And it was scary. So, but I suppose as I am getting older, I'm becoming, in it, like at the end of, am I right in saying that at the end of the Gita, like Arjuna is like, I remember. Like, in a sense, we know. There's
a reawakening. Yeah, reawakening. Sorry, continue.
I feel like it unfolds for you. It unfolds for you. And there are moments in life where the trauma, the rupture, the pain of being alive always will become an opportunity for learning if you're able to do it, if you're able to see it in that way. And sometimes in that pain-based mentality, it's quite difficult to work that trick. It's quite difficult to go, now, what am I supposed to learn here? How am I supposed to evolve here?
If you want even more videos just like this one, click on the boxes over here. And if you want to continue seeing these kinds of stories, you can subscribe by clicking the link right here.